Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about one of the important topic in system physiology about cardiovascular system. About cardiovascular system. Before we go into the topic, we have to learn certain basics. We must be knowing about open and closed circulating system. What exactly the open and closed blood vascular system? The distinction between the two is presence or absence of capillaries, what we call interconnecting vessels. Say in open system, after the blood pumps into the arteries from the heart, it goes to large body spaces called sinuses. From there it goes to veins and back to heart. Say in case of leeches, say arthropods, say the mollusks, say the echinoderms, the best example for open circulating system. Say whereas in case of closed, as we have mentioned, there are interconnecting vessels called capillaries between arteries and veins. Say the blood pumps into the arteries from heart, then they goes to capillaries, then from capillaries to veins and veins to heart, then back to heart. So here capillaries are the distinguishing between the open and closed blood vascular system. In case of closed, we have lot of examples, say annelids, so the cephalopods in case of invertebrates. In case of chordates, say we have cephalochordates and vertebrates, of course. Regarding vertebrates, how the heart evolved, this is most important topic. In vertebrate there is a gradual evolution of heart as they evolve from aquatic state to terrestrial lung breathing animal. What exactly I mean to say is, there is a gradual evolution of heart into two separate pumped heart. That means a complete oxygenated chamber and complete deoxygenated chamber. What exactly I meant to say is, say for example in fishes, how the system, evolution of heart took place along the vertebrate chain. Say fishes, it consists of two chambered hearts, say one atrium and one ventricle. The blood from heart it goes to gills for oxygenation. That is why it is called branchial heart. And the kind of circulation is called single circulation because the blood passes through heart only once. Then in case of amphibians and reptiles, say particularly amphibians, say there is a three-chambered heart. That means one atria evolved, right atrium, left atrium, and one ventricle. Whereas in case of reptiles, it's like ventricles are incompletely divided, but in crocodiles it is completely divided. What happens when there is incomplete division? Say just spare the crocodiles for a while. Say in case of amphibians and reptiles, the deoxygenated blood goes to right atrium, then the oxygenated blood goes to left atrium from lungs or gills or skin. Then from left atrium it goes to ventricles, leads to mixed blood because the ventricle is incompletely divided. In case of reptiles, okay, on the whole, okay. Then the mixed blood, here the kind of heart is called incomplete double circulation, because though the blood passes twice through heart, but there is no complete separation for oxygenation. That means oxygenated or impure blood or deoxygenated or impure blood. But in case of birds and mammals, it further evolves into a complete two separate chambered heart. That means two separate chambers in the sense, say in birds and mammals there are four chambered heart. Right atria and right ventricle is for deoxygenated blood, whereas left atria and left ventricle is for oxygenated blood. Two separate pumps, that means two separate pumping heart with four chambers in birds and mammals. Because the most distinguishing between birds and mammals is, in case of birds it is called right systemic and pulmonary, in case of mammals it is left systemic and pulmonary. That's how the heart evolves along the vertebrate chain. Ultimate goal is to evolve into two separate pumping heart with four chambers. That's it. Okay. These are about basics. Then regarding we in the present class we will be discussing about cardiovascular system. For convenience, we'll discuss in two classes. Then the structure we'll discuss in one class and function in another class. Okay. Regarding the basic, that means structural aspects. Heart is derived from mesoderm and its position is called mediastinum. Mediastinum. Means in thorax, the space between the two lungs is called mediastinum, where the heart is situated. This is most important point. Then regarding in its coverings, the heart is covered by a double word structure called pericardium. consists of two walls, outer fibrous and inner serous. This outer fibrous pericardium, heart is covered by a double layered structure called pericardium. Outer fibrous and inner serous, right? And inner serous is double layered again. Outer parietal and inner visceral. This outer parietal and this fibrous pericardium, they fuse with each other. Whereas the visceral layer adheres to surface of heart. Adheres to surface of heart, which become epicardium. Epicardium. Pericardium is a protective structure. That means epicardium is the outer wall. That means the wall of the heart consists of three layers again. Outer epicardium, middle myocardium, and inner endocardium. This is how epicardium is formed. It is formed from the when the inner visceral layer, that means the inner visceral of inner serous pericardium, when adhered with the surface of heart, forming outer epicardium. That is the first layer of heart, epicardium. The most important thing is there is outer parietal layer and inner visceral layer of inner serous pericardium. The space between the two is called pericardial space. Pericardial space that is filled with pericardial fluid. That is filled with pericardial fluid. The objective is to reduce the friction between the two layers and allow free movement of heart. It can be compared with cerebrospinal fluid. The pericardial fluid is like that, to reduce the friction between the two layers. Okay, that means between the inner visceral and outer parietal of inner serous. Okay, regarding the wall, it consists of outer epicardium, then the middle myocardium, and inner endocardium. And inner endocardium. This myocardium is thick and muscular. That is why the human heart is considered as four-chambered, thick, muscular, pulsating. Okay, we have thick myocardium. The middle is very thick. Okay, so it's about structure and the protective components and the wall, different layers and pericardial fluid. Okay, then let us move to the next topic. Regarding the external structure. As we have discussed, it consists of two atria and two ventricles. Respect human heart. Okay, two atria means right atrium and left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Right. That means the atrium are the receiving chambers, whereas ventricles are the pumping chambers. Okay. Here the thing is, the atrium and ventricle, they are separated by coronary sulcus. Coronary sulcus means a deep transverse groove that separates atria from ventricles is coronary sulcus. Atrioventricular groove, otherwise called. Whereas in case of ventricles, just like here, there are two grooves: interventricular grooves, anterior interventricular grooves, and posterior interventricular grooves. The grooves to separate the ventricles into two. Just imagine, it's a complete one chamber. When there is a groove, then it becomes two. For separation. Then it's about external structure. Then regarding internal structure, then we will be discussing point by point. Okay. So this is the atria. The atrium means the right atrium is somewhat larger than the left atrium. Okay. Right atrium larger than the left atrium. A right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body, then it pumps into the right ventricle. We have discussed already, Then this right atrium, it consists of, most important point is here, foramen ovale. And for example, we cannot visualize here. I will draw separately. Say just like ventricles, atria, the two atria are separated by a septum called interatrial septum. See, that means, say this is the right atria, this is left atria. Okay, this is called interatrial septum. Interatrial septum. Just like wall, but it's very thin. Okay. Interatrial septum. It consists of, during embryonic conditions, a pore called foramen ovale. It's called foramen ovale. That means the atrial septum consists of a pore called foramen ovale during embryonic conditions. At birth, when lungs become functional, it will be closed by leaving a depression called fossa ovalis. By leaving a depression, the foramen ovale becomes fossa ovalis. It's a depression. It's like mark that, okay, there is a foramen ovale like that. That means foramen ovale at birth closed off, become fossa ovalis. When the foramen ovale doesn't close properly, it becomes patent foramen ovale. It becomes patent foramen ovale. It becomes patent foramen ovale. This is very important. When the foramen ovale, that means when the pore present in the interatrial septum doesn't close properly, it becomes patent foramen ovale. Okay. This is regarding, this is most important. There are huge technical jargon we have to learn one by one. Okay. Then regarding other aspects, we have discussed that deoxygenated blood opens into right atrium. Say 2 precaval veins and postcaval veins. That means the left and right precaval veins and postcaval veins. Here the thing is, the postcaval vein opens into right atrium, and its opening is guarded by valve of Eustachian. That means Eustachian valve. Eustachian valve. Eustachian valve is for postcaval vein. Whereas, as we discussed, the deoxygenated blood goes to right atrium. Just like that, the deoxygenated blood from the heart by coronary sinus goes into the right atrium and is guarded by a valve called valve of Physiology. That means, say, the coronary sinus opens, valve protected by a valve called valve of Physiology. Here, what is the function of Eustachian valve? It directs the blood into the left atrium during embryonic conditions. This is very important. Eustachian valve, it directs the blood through embryonic to left atrium through foramen ovale. We have not discussed now. There is a pore called foramen ovale in the interatrial septum, and this Eustachian valve directs the blood into left atrium. But later onwards, it becomes rudimentary. We have discussed that. Okay. Then this coronary sinus, the impure blood from heart goes to right atrium through coronary sinus, and it is guarded by a valve called valve of Physiology. Whereas the guard of postcaval vein is called Eustachian valve. But for precaval veins, there are no such valves. They opens into right atrium, but there are no, just like Eustachian or valve of Physiology. This is very important examination point of view. Okay. So then, it's about, I was going to discuss, right atrium is somewhat larger than the left atrium. Then, coming to the point of ventricles, in case of ventricles, here the left ventricle is thicker than the right ventricle. The deoxygenated blood from the right atrium goes to the right ventricle, and the oxygenated blood from left ventricle to the left atrium to left ventricle. And the most important point, this is very important from here. There is atrioventricular septum, which consists of aperture, what we call atrioventricular apertures, what we call, say, much specifically, right atrioventricular apertures, say opening, left atrioventricular apertures. Here the apertures are guarded again by valves. Say it is the right atrium and it is the right ventricle. It is the right ventricle, okay? Right ventricle. This is left atrium, this is left ventricle. Right atrium opens into right ventricle through right atrioventricular aperture, and it is guarded by a tricuspid valve. A tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. Three leaflets present. They close and open the aperture. That means between right atrium and right ventricle. Whereas in case of between left atrium and left ventricle, there is a bicuspid or mitral valve. Bicuspid or mitral valve. Because it means you have two flaps. That's it. No, this is very important. Then after that, in ventricles, the inside of the inner surface of the ventricle, it gives rise to projections. The projection called columnae corneae. You know, columnae corneae. Columnae corneae. Columnae corneae. The inward of the inside of that means the inner wall of the ventricle gives rise to columnae corneae. Some of them are large and conical. They are known as papillary muscles. So these are the papillary muscles. Some of them are large and conical, known as papillary muscles. That means papillary muscles are nothing but columnar cornea only, but some of them are which are large and conical are known as papillary muscles. This is very important. And these papillary muscles connected to the valve, that means tricuspid and bicuspid valves, by chordae tendineae. They are cord-like collagen processes. Chordae tendineae. That means they are the cord-like collagenous process that connects the papillary muscles with the valves. Say tricuspid valve between the right atrium and the left atrium. Sorry, the right ventricle. Whereas bicuspid valve between left atrium and the left ventricle. That means two chordae tendineae. And most important thing, and this is very important. Some of the tissues in the heart has been specialized, what we call nodal tissues. You know, nodal tissues. Here, two kinds of nodal tissues we have: sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node. You know, sinoatrial node and atrioventricular node. Pacemakers now. Why they are considered as pacemakers? They can generate action potential without the necessity of external stimuli. This is very important. You know, say sinoatrial node. This is sinoatrial node, SAN, present in the right upper corner of the right atrium. Whereas this is called AVN, atrioventricular node, present in the left lower corner of the right atrium. That means right atrium contains both pacemakers. That means sinoatrial node and atrioventricular node. Actually, the action potential starts from say sinoatrial node and it reaches the atrioventricular node, what we call a relay point. Okay, I will tell you in the function how it ends. Okay, and from here AVN, it gives rise to, you know, a bundle of fibers, and as his bundle of his bundle. That means from atrioventricular node, it gives rise to fibers, you know, his bundle, and then it divides into, you know, right and left, and with it, that gives rise to minute fibers known as Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. So when compared to atria, the ventricles are a bit complicated with the different terms. Columnae corneae, the inner wall gives us to muscular collections. Then the larger and conical known as papillary muscles, and the papillary muscles are come through the wall, the tricuspid between the right atria and left ventricle, and the bicuspid between right atria and left ventricles through, you know, chordae tendineae. And from AVN, that means atrioventricular node, which is present in the left lower corner of the right atrium, gives us to bundle, muscular bundle known as his bundle or atrioventricular bundles or AV bundles, and it further gives us to, you know, bundle fibers, you know, right and left, that gives, which in turn gives rise to minute fibers known as Purkinje fibers. And this Purkinje fibers extends along the ventricular musculature, just like it covers. This, for example, this is ventricles. They cover they extend throughout, you know, ventricular musculature. Purkinje fibers. Okay. Then we have the most important sinoatrial node here, then and atrioventricular node. They are known as pacemakers. That means why here sinoatrial node generate action potential without the necessity of action potential. Then from there it goes to AVN. I will tell you that means in function about how it bends. Okay. So it's about, you know, the structure atrium, and the ventricles. And in case of human being, it is not left systemic. In case of birds, it is right systemic and pulmonary. See, and regarding other issues, this is right ventricle. The blood, that means the deoxygenated blood from right ventricle, it goes into pulmonary arch. This is known as pulmonary arch. Pulmonary arch. Whereas the oxygenated blood goes into systemic arch. Systemic arch. Systemic arch. Okay, the thing is, that means I told you already, two separate pumps in heart through four-chambered evolution. This is the crux point for evolution of heart from the aquatic animals to lung-breathing terrestrial animals. And from here, from the right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood should goes into pulmonary arch that goes to lungs for oxygenation. And from then, pulmonary veins. So these are right pulmonary veins. These are right pulmonary veins, and these are left pulmonary veins. The pulmonary veins bring back the oxygenated blood from the heart and opens into left atrium, and from left atrium it goes to left ventricle through bicuspid wall, and for left ventricle it goes into aorta, what we call systemic aorta, left systemic in case of human being. Okay, systemic aorta, and it goes to, that means, to different arteries. It distributes oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. The thing is, the pulmonary aorta and the systemic aorta have semilunar valves, trisemilunar valves. This is very important. Trisemilunar valves. Semilunar valves. Just like tricuspid valve between right atrium and left ventricle. Right ventricle, and bicuspid or mitral valve between left atrium and left ventricle. The semilunar valve, say, in case of pulmonary and the systemic aorta. This is very important. Now, there is a fibrous strand, say this is pulmonary, this is systemic, known as ligamentum arteriosum. There is a fibrous strand at the junction of pulmonary and systemic aorta. So that means pulmonary and systemic arches, known as ligamentum arteriosum. Ligamentum arteriosum. Ligamentum arteriosum. In embryonic condition, it is known as ductus arteriosus. Okay? In embryonic conditions, it is known as ductus arteriosus. Ductus arteriosus. It becomes ligamentous arteriosum, means a fibrous strand that connects at the junction of pulmonary and systemic aorta. So the thing is, I told you already, there is huge technical jargon in examination point of view. So they might ask you accordingly different. What is the meaning of this word? Say Purkinje fibers, the minute fibers coming from bundle of his, or tricuspid valve, where it is between right atrium and the right ventricle. So we have to be very specific and sure about different technical jargons. That is why, for convenience, I will be discussing in 2 classes. Okay, it's all about structural aspects of the human heart. It is left systemic and pulmonary. Okay, in function, we will be discussing about the function and double circulation. Okay.